The Trump administration's trade war with China and Mexico is having a huge impact on Nebraska farmers. There's even concern it could push some to give up farming altogether, despite data we obtained showing millions of dollars being paid to Nebraska farmers in subsidies because of those tariffs. Investigator Jeff Van Sant dug into the issue and what farmers are facing, what he found in our 3 News Now investigation.
Farming is a multi-billion-dollar industry in Nebraska, exporting $6.4 billion in goods in 2017, the 5th largest export state in the country. Times are getting tough. Tariffs imposed on our biggest trade partners like China and Mexico are hurting Nebraska farmers.
The input prices and cost to operate are just through the roof.
Doug HEAVICAN farmed corn and soybeans. He took over the family business in the 1980s, and he recently gave it up.
It looked like we were going to lose a couple $100,000 again this year and not going to do it. That's a lot of money.
Farmers operate on tight margins. It's been a tough year. Extreme cold in the winter, rains and floods in the spring, throw in tariffs, and you have a perfect storm. Tariffs cost Nebraska nearly $1 billion in revenue last year.
It's getting to be a really big struggle out there for some producers.
Jay Rempe is an economist with the Nebraska Farm Bureau.
I would say 10 to 15% of the producers out there, they're going to have to make some hard decisions on whether they want to continue to stay in the business. There's another maybe 30 to 35% that are operating at a loss.
Mexico is a top customer for Nebraska corn, China for soybeans. Those relationships are on incredibly shaky ground after the Trump administration began a trade war with China, causing a ripple effect through the ag industry. To offset the losses, subsidies were being paid out. 3 News Now obtained a breakdown of payments made in Nebraska. So far, over 36,000 farmers have received compensation, totaling over $47 million. Some call this a drop in the bucket.
It didn't erase what we lost. And the fact is, we gained more stockpile of soybeans.
Dennis FUJAN is a soybean farmer and says more beans are being left in the silos, causing commodity prices to drop, hurting the bottom line.
Tariffs haven't worked before. I don't know why they would work this time.
There's fear this trade war will have a lasting effect.
They're pulling back on their spending on farm machinery or anything that's not necessary, absolutely, to put a crop in the ground or family living expenses.
The trade war is forcing a shift and to find new markets in places like Japan and South Korea, and there's hope among farmers to mend broken relationships with our past partners.
It sure would be nice to get the Chinese market back again. I'm not sure that's ever going to happen the way we had it. Once you lose a market, it's really hard to get it back.
There's no telling how far the effect of this trade war will go in the U.S. and in the world. But here in the Cornhusker State, farmers, especially the smaller operations, will have to bear the brunt of the economic loss. For now, farmers can only hope agreements can be made and the hemorrhaging of cash can stop.
If they could get to an agreement with these countries, the world's got to eat. And I really think in the long run, things will come around.
$1 billion lost in trade last year, and there isn't expected to be any kind of improvement for 2019. Jeff Van Sant, 3 News Now.
Farmers are concerned that getting trade back with China will be an uphill battle, and there is some truth to that. Brazil and Russia are just a couple of countries looking to fill the gap left by the United States during this trade war.